Okay.
Womp, womp. Ooh, it's like I'm on the boat again. I'm not actually on the boat. I'm in Arizona, but let's
You were
pretend.
you were on a boat recently?
No, usually I live on a boat back up in Washington. But since that's really snowy and cold, I'm down here with Stunt Dick, my beloved sweetheart, who's a stuntman down in Arizona. And do not all the other comic book writers live this kind of life? Like, live on a boat until it gets cold, and then they come down to Arizona with their boyfriend that they met fighting in the Thunderdome. Like, this is all perfectly normal to me. So yeah, I don't know what Teeny and Kelly are doing, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I think most of them are living in Portland, Oregon.
mm,
That's
true,
where
true,
most of them are living at.
true, true.
Wow. So
Uh, yeah, so no, so I'm currently down in Arizona, just enjoying it not being freezing cold and snowy
that is awesome.
on a boat.
Sorry, I'm going to start this off really quick. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, but we've already started, so it is what it is. But there is no controlling this woman. She does what she wants, when she wants, how she wants, and then she chokes you up and says, "Did you like that? You better say yes."
Somebody asked today in reaction to the infamous issue 7. Um, they're just like, "Why does this hurt so bad?" But I feel compelled to say thank you, and I was just like, "Whip snap."
Lord,
um, yeah.
they are
So
learning.
yeah, slowly you'll realize the power of the Karla cackle, and every time you're upset at me or you cry, it just feeds me. Uh, my
So
my powers only grow.
I feel like your irreverent nature is catchy, and it shows, it bleeds through in your writing. Um, and you're not like you're very humble about it, which is wild.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm not saying that
uh,
you're not willing to take credit and be like, I'm the master of the universe. That's not what I'm arguing here. What I'm saying is you're so quick to give credit. I was shocked that you were so open to just say, when I said something to the effect of, wow, this multi-scene thing in the one issue. Oh my, I think it was issue 3 or 4. I was like, oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, it was amazing. And you're like, oh yeah, that's all Perry Prez. This is all I wrote. Look what he did. I'm like, wow, she
Well,
just
because
literally pulled back the veneer.
I mean, I feel like it's so important. Like, Perry and I have such an amazing collaboration, and this has just been such a dream project from, like, in a dream partnership from get go. Um, where we have so much.
Bagel is making an
Oh,
appearance.
there we go! Yay! Where we have so much trust in each other.
Mhm.
And so that's where, I mean, like, I think when I pulled back the curtain on what this 13 panel page originally looked like in the script, it was 5 panels. And I was like, this is what I wrote originally. This is what Perry came back with. And I was actually cursing his name because that meant I had to go back and write 13 panels worth of sound effects and rearrange the dialogue I'd already written, or add new dialogue just so that it would all flow together. But we've been working like very classic Marvel style for this, and I just feel so lucky that we've both gotten away with it. Um, but
Like you pulled off a heist.
no, always. Like, I think pretty much every comic book I've written has, in one way or another, been a heist. Um, and like, if you go back, you can see, like, even starting in like Gwenpool Holiday Mix Up with Pants Giving, or the Fantastic Four 2099, which that was that book came out, the week that the new Spider-Woman series was announced. I think, like, even the same day. So
Okay.
a lot of people went to go look up that infamous Fantastic Four 2099. Like, oh, let's see what this Karla Pacheco's deal is. What's she gonna do with Spider-Woman? It's just like, oh my god.
That was a crazy book. What's so funny, where did I put it? Oh, here. I went back. I was like, let me see some of the stuff that Carla's written because I don't think I've ever heard of her before Spider-Woman. And Fearless issue number 2, I reviewed it. I liked it, okay? Fantastic Four 2099, like you said. Yeah, the one where that ending was, "Holy crap, did you do what?"
Yeah.
And I loved it. I remember saying I reviewed that and I think, Alpha 2099 Alpha at the same time. I
Mm.
was like, "Wow, it was really good," and I was like, if there's anything, I think that this is the one where Carla at this point has a place in Marvel or writing any
That was
comic
that
book
was
because
actually, I
wow.
think that was the first review of mine that I'd seen of yours, was
Oh,
for
you
the.
saw that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
for because of course, like I was saying, I'm not very humble at all. I totally ego search. Um, and it's great because I'm so,
Whoa,
bulletproof
chill out.
with I'm so bulletproof with my, confidence, that when I see a bad review, I'm just like, "Ah, that's too bad. They're not very smart." Uh, and the good ones, I'm like, "Aw, thank you, friends." Um, which is totally the opposite way of what anyone is supposed to approach, like from a creative standpoint, how anyone's supposed to approach reviews. But no, I love seeing the ones where people enjoyed it or got something out of it. And sometimes, like as we're, probably talk about, point out something that I screwed up on, or that I could improve on. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I I enjoy reading and seeing people say nice stuff about me. And then anyone who doesn't say nice stuff about me is obviously wrong. So why should I listen to them?
That's great. Sorry to propagate you a little more. Punisher Annual #1.
Oh
I
yes.
go back and I look up and I was like, "Wait, I read that also and I reviewed it. So what the frig?" And again, good issue. I liked it. Um, what you did a uh not Brave and the Bold, something else from Marvel. You
Yeah,
wrote
no,
Misty
no,
Knight.
I did a Misty Night story for, an event.
Yeah,
Like
I know
it was,
not a lot of people like that. Nick Spencer's oh, what the heck was it called again?
I
Oh,
feel like,
this is killing me right now.
yeah,
The
well,
the one where
well,
Captain America hailed Hydra. Anyway,
yes. So,
that one. You
no, so I wrote a Misty Night short for that, and I did set that at Wasteland, which was a semi true story, actually.
I
Uh,
believe it because it was too real, because I know about the some of that stuff, like Algonquin. I know about some of that stuff, the Anarchy Society. I'm just like,
yeah,
"This looks
well, it's
amazing."
no, so Mech, in that story, is actually a real person. I met him when I was driving through the California desert on my way to an event where a bunch of people would all pretend the apocalypse already happened, and ended up, like ripping the drive shaft out of my car. Take Because some people say a Honda CRV isn't an off-road vehicle, and they're probably correct, but I certainly tried to prove them wrong. So I end up, like ripping the drive shaft out of my car on my way to this big camping event for Wasteland Weekend, which is a thing out in California in the Mojave Desert, where basically they build an entire, barter town, and there's a full size Thunderdome that I've fought in and won. And I won the Exxon Valdez from Waterworld, like the actual boat from Waterworld, fighting in the Thunderdome. Again, our other, I don't know how many other comic writers you talk to, but are they not doing this? Is
Last time I talked to Kelly Thompson, she was wanted by the CIA.
Okay, well,
Um,
see, got
yeah,
that going
so
for it.
you're in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. But yeah, so I met Mech. Literally, he was in that little loincloth, like in the middle of the desert, climbing underneath my car, and I was just like, "Do you need a blanket or anything under there?" He's like, "Nah, I'm fine." Yeah, you borked it. Um, and from there it got a little more, fictiony, but that was very much a real experience,
That is crazy.
ripped from the headlines of Karla Pacheco's life, that I put into a Misty Night story.
That is crazy. Okay. Um,
As was the time where I stole a space shuttle from NASA, which that's how we ended up with the, Punisher story.
gotcha. Okay. I'm not even going to argue that because you might be right.
I mean, the
Secret
worst part,
Empire.
The worst part, Secret Empire. That was it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had it up and I'm like, wait a second, I have it up someplace. So yeah,
No,
Secret Empire.
the worst part is if I tell people like, oh yeah, that time I stole a space shuttle, I think about 50% of the people who know me would be like 50-50 if she's actually telling the truth. Like, I would not be surprised.
That is, I literally when I remember the Misty Knight story. First off, no, let me get to this first. The rock hitting the drive shaft and breaking. I'm thinking to myself, literally, that's probably the part of the story that I disbelieve the most. Drive shafts are fairly sturdy, I mean, unless you pop the
Aren't
clutch. I don't know why that happened, but you're telling me the rock actually did. So
Oh, it was. I mean, that was a simplified version. It was more that I was going over a dry lake bed in the middle of the desert. Honestly, I think it was either a rock or a really big shrubbery that I ended up like basically, you know how like the car goes up something and then it can't come down something, and so then it's just cranking
yeah,
over the something.
okay,
So yeah,
something
so
had to break.
it was kind of like that. So yeah,
That's
just
crazy.
there was a lot of um yeah, when I finally got it back into town, and that was another adventure. Because I wasn't going to quit camping. I finally made it to the campsite, so it was time to get drunk with a bunch of weirdos out in the desert. Um, all dressed up like the apocalypse had already happened.
That
Um,
is great. First off,
and
that was an amazing story. I'm just gonna throw that in again. But okay. It really was. It really was. I love the way I encourage everybody to go back and read these comic books that I'm talking about. See the Spider-Woman creator before, well, creator, current creator, because you're treading whole new ground with the character. Also, Perez's idea for the new uniform.
No, so the black and red suit is that was Dave Johnson design,
Okay.
and they were actually already working on that before they had even pulled me in on the book and pulled
Hmm.
Pere on. Like it was before either of us were officially on the book. But they were sending like as soon as like I think they were working on that while I was still refining the pitches with Jake Thomas and Lindsay Kohik, and as soon as I saw the new design, I was just like, oh no, this is fantastic. Like, and I love how Pere draws
Mm,
Jess in the new suit. Um, I just feel like it really does suit like where her headspace is right now.
mm,
And yeah, so there was a little retconning on my part where that the second story of issue one, the B story with that great art by Paulo Sciarra, where it's like new suit who dis like how she got the new suit. That was me going like, okay, she's getting the new suit, like let's explain how she got that.
yes.
And so I thought that was a lot of fun too. And I mean, the thing I love most about writing comics is the problem solving. Like I like going in and figuring out ways of, oh, we need to, you know, we've got King in Black coming in. Like Noel is showing up over New York. Like, what do we do? Like, what, you know, how does that affect, you know, the story that I'm telling? And I was really, really happy with issue seven. I mean, for the obvious reasons that I've tormented everyone, like absolutely brutalized y'all. Um,
You're a cruel master.
but for both issue seven and issue eight, what I like about this is we tie into King in Black, um, but we're not doing a crossover. It doesn't take away from our story.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really important that, and it was funny because there were some things where it's like I had to coordinate with a lot of people more so than I normally do. I was like, okay, where's so and so right now? And they're like, he's a little busy. where's this person? Like, can I use like can they show up? And they're like, not right now. But it was great because it helped for them because they're like, all right, Carol's going to be showing up somewhere else, but we need a reason to explain why she's not here right now anyway. And I was like, no, that's where she is. Like, I've got like, here's the other people. I've got them over here. So you guys can go do this, and then we can all tell our stories and have them coordinate. And that's another part of the thing that I love doing, that coordination. Like what we did kind of similar in like Fantastic Four 2099, where we were coordinating, you know, this entire universe
Mhm.
across several different books. And I think that's a lot of fun. Like I really enjoy doing that. Um, but yeah, so for issues 7 and 8, I think it's really cool that they tie in to what's going on in New York right now. But Jess has got her own problems. Like she's got some stuff she needs to deal with right now. Um, I can say, like 6, was technically the start of our next arc, but I feel like 7 is really where we're starting off the next story.
Mhm.
And then 8, oh goodness, we just get super going because we saw somebody show up at the end of 7.
Yeah, the no spoilers. I'm not here for spoilers, but oh, for crying out loud. Like somebody who's seeing this a year from now is like, "Oh, we knew this." But yeah, that's I don't even want to know how she shows up, but that was a little bit surprising. But the meanness, the meanness of what you did.
Yeah.
Wow, like she got personal.
Oh yeah.
Like to
I mean,
actually watch there's a part where you actually see Carol's soul leave her body. Like you are mean.
yeah, it was yeah, I mean, like I kept telling people from the beginning, I was just like, no, issue 7's going to be the one where especially all the Carol Jess fans are just going to be calling for my blood. Um, so far, they all seem to actually have turned out to be absolute masochists, so they're enjoying it even as they're yelling at me. So far everyone's been yelling at me, but also thank you, but also wow, you're terrible, you're evil. Um, it's also like, I mean, most of the reactions have been at least that I've seen so far today have been really positive. People seem to, I guess I'll say, enjoy the story. um,
I think that you've built up enough trust with us. You know that we know that you
Thank
care about the character. We know that you know the character. And to go back a little bit on something that you were saying earlier about coordination and with other writers or editors and whatnot. Hey, can I use this character? Where is this character right now? To a lot of the people who watch this channel, they know that I'm a Jim Shooter guy. Like I to this day, I still talk to him every so often. He's an incredible human being, and I was in the military, so I don't care about that drill sergeant attitude he's got. Bring
you.
it, you know what I'm saying? But he really brought something to the table at Marvel that no other comic book company had done in a really long time. He brought coordination, continuity. He brought something amazing. And to hear you say that you're actually looking to do something just at least on that level. I don't want to use a character who's supposed to be someplace else. That is music to a lot of our ears.
Well, I mean, so for me, it's like I'll give with one hand and take away with the other. Uh, I also feel like canon can kill. Um, I respect canon. Like obviously, as you've seen in this first 5 issues, I dug deep onto canon, and I tried very hard not to throw anything away that had
Mhm,
come before me. Um, because it was important for me to build and not just, oh, it's mine now. These are my toys now. I get to
mhm.
play with them. No one else gets to. Like, sorry for the dog that's barking across the courtyard.
My cat
Uh,
just invaded us. We're okay.
um, but so it's important for me to always be adding,
Mhm.
like adding to the character, adding to the story, adding to her rogues gallery. Like Spider Woman has honestly not had a very deep rogues gallery before. Or the character, or if she does get someone really good, they end up like getting shuffled off to fight somebody else really quick.
Or just
And
killed like the Brothers Grimm.
yeah, so it's like so Octavia Vermis, even actually like bringing back Miriam Drew, like we've gotten to do a lot of really cool stuff, but it was really important to me not to uh ignore the canon that came before. That said, obviously there were things going on with you know uh Empire and Strike Force that I was kind of like, I have my own personal timeline on where like our current Jess story lines up in there, but at some point it's also just like, it's comic books. Let's have fun and write good stories
Mhm,
and just like write some fucking bangers. Like that's what I kind of get excited about, especially seeing like, the stuff that other, like Kelly or Teeny use Jessica Drew in. So I am not as concerned that everything line up perfectly so much as the characters are true and you can kind of mentally sort out where in the deck of cards this one came. So I feel it's important to respect canon but also don't let it uh control a really good story from coming out, and
mhm,
there's a lot of like right now it's like our book matches up in King and Black and I think that's super super cool.
yeah,
um but it definitely would have been a lot harder if I was doing like a proper crossover versus what I consider a tie-in.
mhm,
I consider ours a tie-in that
yeah, it is.
this is this is what's happening in the world right now with
Mhm,
Jess. And there have been a few like there were a few little editorial tweaks throughout issue 6 that were actually kind of foreshadowing that. Um, but for the most part, I kind of got to just tell a really good Jessica Drew story that still makes sense, even if none of this had been like, even if King and Black hadn't been happening. I want to say, like, even if you don't read any of the other King and Black event stuff, which you should because it's rad, uh, even if you don't read that, I feel like our story will still make sense. Like that's the hope, at least.
there was literally just a dragon, and it's like, "Oh, look," to find out where that dragon came from, it made perfect sense. Yeah, no, I think that you handle there's ways to do retcons, you know? Look at what Brian Michael Bendis did with Avengers Disassembled with Scarlet Witch specifically. Huge radical change, and yet it's the most interesting that Scarlet Witch has been since,
Hmm.
X-Men issue number 4. I mean,
Well, I mean,
you can
obviously,
change things.
and obviously, we used Bendis's origins is what I used as my leaping off point for this Jessica Drew. I was given the option to go either back old school or use or like I could. I think Jake told me at one time he was just like, yeah, she's had a lot of canon and a lot of history, and not a lot of it is stuck per
Mm,
se. Um, so I was definitely given like a whole smorgasbord I could have picked from, but I felt like Origins was one that always respected the OG Jessica Drew origins, but made them interesting and modern, I guess, and pretty rich, like to use for the character. And even that, it didn't completely like it didn't ignore her original origins. It just kind of made them a little richer, I think. And that's what I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna springboard off of that. Off I go.
nice. Plus, Spider-Woman kinda comes with a fan base as it
Which
stands anyway, right?
which I didn't
Spider-Woman Daily
which
for one.
which I didn't know about at the time. No, when the book got announced, I very much because this is my first ongoing series.
Yeah,
Like I'd had, the annuals. I'd had, some one shots. Had some, anthology books. Uh, but I this was my first series, and I knew I loved Jessica Drew. I didn't realize like how passionate like the rest of the fan base was,
yeah.
and so that was definitely very humbling very early. Um, It was just like, oh shit, like, I thought I was gonna have, like, this little starter series that no one really paid attention to.
No.
Um,
No,
it's
we
like,
were all just sitting around waiting for somebody to do something with Jess, and all of a sudden, here comes Karla Pacheco with a steel chair, and boom! It's like, holy crap! Vince McMahon is screaming like it was no, like we were waiting for this, and that's
It's
why
like
we say thank you.
but no, it was hilarious because yeah, everyone was just like, well, the last book was like the last ongoing series, like it was pretty emotional, like it's more about
Yes.
Jessica as a person and a mother and kind of having relationships. And I was just like, so how y'all feel about blowing up helicopters?
That was that was
And
the selling point. I was like, "That's kinda weird." Oh, no, she really does it. No, she was full frontal about it. Wow, okay, cool. Yeah, the Hammer series was interesting.
when
I
when
loved
uh,
it.
when uh when the cover came out for when they finally released the cover after I kept talking about everything was going to be helicopter explosions, Chip Zdarsky just texted me. He was just like, can't believe you fucking put a helicopter explosion on the cover. It's like, ha ha, Carla's gonna Carla.
Carla's gonna Carla. That is gonna stick. Yeah, starting with issue 8. That's sticking in my reviews.
Yeah, yeah, no, Carla's gonna Carla because yeah, it's I would like to say that I never deliberately try to go for a cheap emotional moment. I try to go for very expensive emotional moments.
Okay.
Um, like I definitely like I have I have I have some very big theories on why people uh speaking of Chip, why people who are generally known for comedy
Mm,
actually are frequently and again without tooting my own horn here toot toot uh are frequently very very good at drama because we're usually only making the jokes so that it hurts more when we rip your heart out.
mm.
So it'll be like joke, 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 nut punch. And that's the Karla Pacheco school of writing philosophy. But that is kind of like what I never want it to be like, oh, I just did something mean to Jess for no reason. Or even just the fact right now, Jess is acting like an ass. Like she is being a grade A bitch. And there's a reason for it, obviously. Like you can tell, like the Marchand serum is affecting her. And so there's a lot going on. Um, but I never want it to be that just like, oh, I'm just torturing her for no reason. It's like, no, it's serving a greater story, hopefully, and hopefully one that people are along for the ride, even though it is like, I mean, for a lot of people, like for a lot of the spider babies, it is very much like watching your best friend just self-immolate and making all of the bad decisions. But hopefully it doesn't feel like I'm doing that cheaply or without thought. It's intended to be something that is, taking the reader along with Jess on a journey. It's and it's not always a fun one, and it certainly hasn't been an easy one that I've gotten my hands on her. But um when I think before we started talking, you mentioned you're like, wow, you are really mean to Jess. And I go, yeah, but I write her as myself. Like, I think people are pretty familiar at this point that I'm basically like, yeah, that's just like, I mean, yeah, if you want to call me a Mary Sue, that's my Jessica Drew. Yeah, because
She hardly comes across as that.
no, but it's someone it's definitely the reason why I think I relate to the character so much is it's a character who has had a lot of trauma in her past, has a lot of anger and darkness that she never really deals with, and finds it easier to lash out at the people that she should care about um, than to just accept help. And to also it's like and to also like cover up all those emotional feelings with like wisecracks and shitty jokes. So, hence the letter page of Just This Mess.
I love the name of that.
Where I just yell at everyone who like pays me compliments.
But you're also self-deprecating in many ways. The Karla Pacheco, I love that. So
Oh,
so you're moving to Dayton, Ohio now? That's
yeah,
what's gonna
apparently
happen?
so.
The witness protection program?
Oh
Smoke
yeah,
bomb.
just like smoke bomb. Um,
I love that. I read that, I'm like, "Did she?" No, I didn't. Let me clean my glasses again. Oh my god, this is freaking great. So I love it. But, I'm here
it's
for it
a
all.
it's always hilarious when Lindsay and Shannon send me the letters page, and they're just like, "You want some more letters?" Like, of course. And they're like, we didn't get any mean ones this time." I was like, "Do you want to wait a couple days, see if any come through?"
Not too many people do their own letters page.
Yeah, because most people expect to be paid for their extra work, and I don't.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a joke. Just I realized the other day. I think probably because you had kept mentioning, and someone else mentioned, like most writers don't do their own letters page, and I was kind of like, yeah, why is that? And someone else who shall remain unnamed is just like, because we don't get paid for them. I was like, ah, shit.
You messed up. Maybe you can get, like, a stunt double.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'll get Stunt Dick to start writing the letters page for me.
That would be hysterical. It's just like, listen,
I should.
Gail
I
Simone's husband is famous,
Oh,
amongst all of us who right?
and he's such a sweetheart. Like
He is.
he's so fantastic. No, I'll actually we'll see if Stunt Dick wants to write the next letter page, and
That'd be
we won't tell Lindsay and Shannon about that yet.
oh, just do it. Just do it and be like,
I
"Psh,
mean,
you're
I
not
mean,
paying him either."
yeah. I mean, the funniest part about the like the Spider Woman team is it has been just from the get go the most Carla enabling team of all time, where I'll come up with just like a terrible idea, and like the I go like, yeah, can we call it Just This Mess? And Jake's like, yes. I was like, okay, um, or I think I did the, new costume who dis as a joke, and he used it as the title. Um,
I think it's perfect.
it's every helicopter explosion, every Deadpool dressed child chucked off the side of a boat. The team has not only like enabled me, but like encouraged me to push it further. Um, that was like I was always going to chuck the kid dressed as Deadpool off a boat. Jake Thomas was the one who's like, okay, no, bring him back up and then throw him at the terrorist. I was like, do you think that's too far, Jake? He's like, no, it'll be funny. I was like, well, you know, who am I to question the white male?
Wow. We're gonna leave that one exactly where you left it. Oh, you talked about continuity, but you kind of have your own continuity. Besides, while Hawkeye was rightfully so insulted in this one, because F Hawkeye, but in a good way, he did say that there seems to be something going on between Doctor Strange and Linda Carter, the night nurse. And I remember this one issue of Fearless, issue number 2. You can actually find that relationship.
Oh, dude, I am the Easter egg queen. Like if you read all of the books, and no one should have to, but if you do, you'll find all this stuff. And granted, in Fearless, I'd already established it, and I was even gonna make some jokes about it. At that point, Doctor Strange and Linda, like they did date one time way, way, way back in the day.
Mhm.
Um, so Linda and Doctor Strange had dated before. But I think he's got his other girlfriend now, or maybe not. But it's like he'd moved on, they'd moved on, but they were still friends, and they're just gonna go eat Puerto Rican food in the park. And like I can show you on a map exactly what restaurant they got the food from, like where in the park they're sitting to eat lunch, where her clinic would be. Um, because Hell's Kitchen has gotten really gentrified
Yeah.
if you're actually in New York. So I picked like the exact right spot in East Harlem where the clinic would be. Googled up to find like what are the best takeout Puerto Rican food stands like right along that like little 2 block strip between there and Central Park, and it's stuff and like what would their route be from Linda's clinic to the Natural History Museum, um, where Stegron was hanging out.
Yeah.
Who, speaking of people we might see again, because you know how I love punching dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he can come back for revenge. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, like, how to write your story. I'm just saying that would be freaking great if he comes up.
uh,
You know what I heard? That
it's
was my cousin.
it kind of goes in the opposite direction, but because
Oh.
I make it sad. Anyway, issue 8.
All right, y'all heard it here. Like I'm not the type to ask for
Secrets.
spoilers, and you guys know that. Holy crap. Okay. Okay.
um
Um oh, okay. What's up with pickles? I'm going back to the Misty Knight story. What's
oh
up with
yeah.
pickles in the desert?
So when you're out in the desert, pickles are actually better. It's kind of like um, edible Gatorade.
Uh-huh.
Pickles are a very good source of salt and sugar and like minor nutrition, but it's like so pickles basically pickle juice is better for you than drinking straight water because your body is sweating out so much salt that if you're only chugging water,
Mhm.
and I know this from experience because I screwed up a couple times. If you can be chugging tons and tons of water out in the desert, but it's so dry that unless you are getting salt, like if unless you're getting sodium
Mhm.
to help absorb and process that, your body just flushes it through, and you don't stay hydrated. So you
Mhm.
end up like you know full of water but completely not hydrated. So pickle
Yeah.
juice and pickles are a really good quick way. Like in the wasteland, people just be walking around handing each other pickles or like some sort of pickled vegetable. Like some do fancy ones, others just have. Every time I go out into the desert, I just bring a big jar of pickles with me because it's really a really fast way to get a little sodium bomb and it's still hydrating.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I did hot weather training in the military, we're out in California, and we just used Gatorade and the salt packets in our MREs.
Yeah, the
But
the
yeah,
salt yeah, the salt packets, a lot of people have those, but, Gatorade tends to be a little higher on the sugar content.
yeah, it is.
So pickles, actually, you get all the salt without the sugar.
Son of a gun. Yeah, and
Yeah.
keep your electrolytes up.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Like pretty much everything you do, Google mapping to have like a location to sit on a freaking rock that could just be innocuously anywhere. And you're just, no, no, no. I want this to be precise. Here, I'm going to send you a satellite maps. Draw this. That's
Oh,
that attention to detail.
I mean, it's stuff that, like and a lot of the naming stuff that I do all has meaning a lot of times if it's not an original character. Uh, it's little jokes, a lot of them that are just for me, but I probably get way too much glee out of it. But no, it's like I like to know where everything is. I like to figure out how people are getting from place to place. Like it's like that is um I mean, again, at some point, canon kills. It doesn't always have to be perfect because it's a
Yeah.
comic book. Let's just blow some shit up. Like we're gonna have fun. But other times, it's nice when you can have those moments that, this part of this issue tied into this, and I didn't realize where that was coming from. And oh, geez, if you like read this, like short story, like this 10 pager from like a year ago, in Fearless, you're gonna get like an extra joke in issue 8 of Spider Woman.
Yeah.
So anytime I can do stuff like that, I get quite the little chuckle out of it, or as we've dubbed it, the Karla cackle. Um,
Yeah. You got Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised that you've done so many different works here and there, and I've liked them all without being able to connect them, and it was literally only today I was this many days old when I realized I have reviewed several of your works, not even realizing, because I was reviewing your works before I even real it was, Matthew Rosenberg said something one time about, he hates the idea that with the Daredevil TV series, that's how long ago this was. It wasn't even to me, it was just in general. He was saying, I hate that there's the option to keep watching the credits as opposed to them automatically wanting to skip through the credits. I, of course, want to watch the credits. I want to know who did
Right.
this. And I thought to myself, I read a lot of comic books. I talk about these comic books. These people deserve credit. So I realized that I actually wasn't giving credit to people. And that's how long it's been because everybody knows nowadays, like, I'm the
No,
one who,
no, yeah,
yeah,
it's,
I give all the credits now. And that's how long ago you've been doing these comic books. And I just,
well, it's, I mean,
oops.
like I said, I think the first review of yours that I saw, for my work was for, the Fantastic Four 2099, and it's like, "Alright, some guy on the internet's reviewing my book. Let's see how this goes." And so I was kinda just like, "Alright, is this dude gonna be upset that I'm a woman who exists?" Or, like,
Those
bec
guys. No,
because there's plenty.
yeah, there are.
Um and they seem to get really mad about me existing. So I was like, yeah, not sure how this one's gonna go. And you were just like, okay, so this is just doing this and this and this. And he's like, this is great. And I was just like, oh, like I actually, I literally, I called Stunt Dick over. I was just like, I almost cried. Um, because you said such a sweet thing about like, I don't know this Karla Pacheco, but man, she deserves a place in the Marvel universe. And I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I
so
went back and checked. It's like, did I say anything mean in these? Like,
you're like,
'cause I wouldn't
you're like,
make it a personal attack, but I might
no,
say, I
no,
didn't
no,
like the book, and I
no. And like I said, like people are always allowed to dislike what I do. I don't like every comic that I read. It's even ones that are by some of my friends. You know,
mm,
it's sometimes it's not my style. Sometimes it's just not my favorite version of the character. Sometimes I just like, this just isn't working for me, even from
mm,
people that I really, really like. Um, so I certainly don't expect everyone to like what I like. Um, and yeah, you don't do personal attacks. It's just like, okay, no, this is what it is. Either it's something that worked for me or something that didn't work for me. And, I feel like you've always been very fair about that. And so I
this
always
isn't about me. So making this about you again,
okay,
when
yeah,
is
but
when is
but
when is my
but when but when other so basically, so long and short, people saying nice things about me is fantastic and I love it. People who say mean things about me are just very unfortunate that their lives and brains are so small and that they're so wrong forever and ever and ever.
It's okay. Eventually, everybody gets over being on the short bus, so they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
real talk, when are we gonna have some of the ladies in the Marvel Universe, the writers, actually doing an event? Because I'm saying it's about diversity, and nowadays in politics, because I do genuinely believe this, I don't believe in Republicans or Democrats, and I believe that a lot of what happens today is based on identity. Nobody cares what the policy of this person. This is the first woman to be in this position. Yeah, but she's got a horrible record, so I
Yeah.
don't care. No, but if that's the way that the universe is gonna be, okay, cool.
Well,
Let's take
like
a little bit of talent.
I mean,
Where is
Fearless was cool just for the fact that not only was it all female writers, it was all female editors, letters, colorists, like
Mhm.
the whole series, which I thought was really neat. Uh, I love Jeffrey Viraji, who like we joke that we're cousins because we're both up in Pacific Northwest and both native, and so it's
Oh, you're
just
native
like
also.
yeah. So I'm half native. Hispanic and then half, like, you know, came over on the Mayflower. um, but
I'm
I've
one
definitely. I've
16th, I think, Cherokee, and mostly Italian after that. So
yes.
we came over with, mafia boats, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm about half Apache, but not registered, and so it's not something that I like try to take advantage of, I
Mhm.
guess, or like I definitely try to lift up other voices that have had more like I mean I've
Voices,
definitely
that's
I've
Jeffrey
de-
Verrege's book, Voices.
I know, and it's fantastic. I love what
Yeah.
he's doing with it. We still he and I very very much want to work together.
Yes.
And so yeah, so we've discussed that before. We definitely want to do some work together at some point. So yeah, because yeah, he actually only lives I think like 40 minutes away from me. um but no, he's fantastic. His family's great. And so we've and I've been so thrilled and so proud of like the year that he's had, like had the Smithsonian
Yeah.
exhibit, like had all of these, like he's got just got approved for some new murals uh in Washington. I believe he's doing the mural for the new hockey team, the Kraken, and doing it in his, that gorgeous style of his. So I am just
Very
so
unique style, yeah.
I'm just so proud of everything he's
He's doing the
accomplished.
new, Iron Fist cover.
Yeah, I just saw that.
He
That
just
was
posted that
so
today, yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was so no, I love all the voices covers that he's been doing. So
yeah.
we definitely like, yeah, I'm definitely like putting in my request for one of those for Spider Woman at some point.
Nice.
Um, but no, I'm definitely really proud of all the work that he's been doing. It's just but yeah, it's I mean, my feeling as far as diversity goes is like everyone's going to have their own lens of experience that, and even if it's like a white guy next to another white guy, they're going to have different experiences. But the more lenses that you get from different walks of life and different experiences, like that's only going to make everything better. Like there's not a finite amount of creativity to go around.
Mm,
Um like me writing Punisher is going to look different from, someone else's Punisher, um because I've got a different point of view. Some of that's factored on like my experience, some of it's factored on my gender, my sexuality, or my ethnicity, um or just, me fighting in the Thunderdome. Like we all have very different experiences, and expanding the pool to get more voices into that pool, like that's only going to make better comics. And maybe it won't be a comic that you like or you relate to, but that voice is in the pool now. And so it's just going to be, creating more opportunity for everyone to get better books and stronger books.
yeah.
Um,
When you put Punisher in space, that's not the first time he's been in space.
oh no, not at
Yes, I
all.
mean, he's been in space several times. There's a graphic novel called Punisher
Punisher
Zero
and Spain.
G. Yeah, oh,
But
you know,
but it's a but
but
it,
it's
I mean, but
different.
it was the first time he'd been in space with J. Jonah Jameson.
This is true. This is very true.
And the first time that that someone ripped off the opening to us, or the original plot of the 1980s movie Space Camp, uh as your setup for how Punisher and J. Jonah Jameson end up in space.
These things have to be explored.
Mhm.
The idea is if Marvel is gonna say that they are gender or not just gender, like very diverse, okay, let's see some true diversity. Let's have an all women, or at least a, even if it's a single woman, like you, look, the Secret Empire, that was Nick Spencer. You know, say
Mhm.
right now you got this Donny Cates thing after Donny Cates' most recent thing. You know, saying the two Venom stuff.
I mean, I definitely would love to see Kelly Thompson or Teeny Howard like having their own like event that they get to, drive the wheel on.
Teeny was just doing the what's it called? The Ten of Swords thing
Yeah, the
with Hickman, yeah.
Exoswords, Exoswords with Teeny, and like she was doing a lot of really great work with that. Obviously, Kelly, like where to start. um, but I definitely think uh there's some really really great creators that are coming up, and I just think, yeah, a lot of them could easily be doing like, you know, a special miniseries tie-in or something like that. Like it'd be fun to do. But also, I'm really lazy, so I'm mostly sticking to Spider Woman until we figure out what I'm doing on top of that.
How far you think you're going with Spider Woman? How long?
Secret.
Gotcha. Okay, that was something we established in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. I think there will be an announcement soon that basically says, uh, well, I hope I haven't been doing redacted for nothing because something will be announced soon.
Okay. Oh, come on, come on, come on! Don't break my heart. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, how about this? Let's change it up a little bit. What name another character that you wouldn't mind doing?
um, uh, Perry and I were talking the other day. It's just like we think we would have a lot of fun with an Electra series.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
more of that. Which
uh,
which hairstyle? Straight or assassin?
Oh gosh, it's like, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm always really careful about saying like, "Oh, what do you wanna work on?" Because half the time it's like books that my friends are already working on. Like, I hate when people ask like, "What book would you like to see me on?" Because it's like my friends are doing
Mm,
really good jobs on that. Like, I love Deadpool, I love Punisher. I'm not like I love but also currently love the people who are writing those books. So,
yeah, you're not trying to steal
um
that from Kelly. I
yeah,
don't think you could.
I I no, no, I ain't yoinking that. But no, I think there's definitely something that could be fun with I mean, like Pere and I very much sync up on any of the martial arts books.
Ooh,
Because he's a trained martial arts instructor.
yeah.
Um, and my partner is also a trained martial artist instructor and stuntman. And so there's been many times where it's like I would be plotting out a scene with my boyfriend where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna go over here. I need you to tackle me and like show like how am I breaking out of this armbar from here? And um just so that I can like freeze it at a halfway point so I know how to write it.
Mhm.
With Perry, I barely need to do that because he already knows exactly what I'm doing. So I can just be that's where it's like, showed the 13 panel page that was only written as 5 originally. I can go, okay, we're doing this, this, and this. Or Perry will put in a request. Oh yeah.
These
Yep.
amazing scenes, yeah.
So yeah, Perry specifically requested a kung fu scene. And so that's why I put in Danny. And just I was like, all right, Pere, this is your page. Go nuts. I'll put in the dialogue afterwards.
Man, the original Marvel style, the
Yeah,
Kirby and Stan Lee style.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, because but that's where it's like he can tell. He was like, oh hey, I want to do a thing with Wing Chun knife fighting, and I'll figure out like, okay, where can we do this? He's like, and I was like, yeah, I was thinking about a big truck battle. He's like, what about monster trucks? I go, yes, let's do it. So we'll, dude, coming up. There's some stuff. Uh, but because I'm familiar with the martial arts that he's using, and he can just give me like I even said like starting on redacted. Um, I was like, hey, we're gonna be starting on secrets. What's something you wanted to draw? Like do you have any requests that I can run past editorial so I can make sure that I get them into the book? Um, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I would love I've been thinking about this one scene that looked like this. I've been thinking about this that would look like that." And I'd like, "Okay, yeah, great." And then I figure out a way to make it happen. Like it's my job is to write for him to make because I know that's what's going to make the best looking book. Um, and I feel like that's why the joy in this book comes through so much. Like the excitement that we both have for it is um, that I'm writing for him, he's drawing for me, and then I go back through and like, but we're also making sure that everything hits all the story points, you know. So like when I'm doing the script, it's like all hit like, okay, this is the kung fu battle. Here's where Jess's head is at throughout this. Here's what Danny's trying to do. Like I'm explaining the emotional beats so that he can be free to just do the action and do the facial acting, and then I make sure that the dialogue that needs to be there is there. And I think that's a really amazing way to be able to write comics.
We can tell, like, it's palpable. It shows that you guys are having fun with this, and I think that you guys are kind of symbiotes.
Oh,
That's what
oh
I'm
no,
thinking.
it's actually like there'll be times where he'll text me or email me. He's like, "Oh hey, so I just had an idea about blah 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 blah," and I was like, "I was just about to send you something." Because I was like, no, because what if we did that with this? And he's like, ah, you know, so we do just joke that like we have the mind meld. Like there's a mind meld going on, and he laughs very hard every time I torture somebody. Like by which I mean the readers, not the characters, just the readers. I'm just like, oh, they're gonna be mad at this one. He's like, oh yeah.
I can't wait. I
Yep.
can't wait to hear the nerd boy Rees. Wow. All right. Yeah, I'm down for it. How much can Jessica Jones bench press right now with that serum?
With Drew, well, because she's got
Did I
a
say Jones? Oh my God.
other one.
Yeah, wrong one.
Uh, no, because with the helicopter, because people were asking, they're like, she can't pull a helicopter out of the sky. It's like she's rated to 7 tons.
Mhm.
um, but yeah, the serum has definitely given a boost. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the bench press is, but it's basically like, yeah, I mean that's in issue 5, which was our Legacy 100, and you see her working out again, and everything's just like heavy bag just disintegrating, basically. Um, so yeah, so she's definitely gotten a boost, but not without a price.
Yeah, yeah. It feels real. It does. Any of us who've been to a gym and seen people who actually, do steroids and get yeah, we know that's
Yeah,
very real. So,
yeah,
or a
it's
drug addict.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I think I told Spider Woman Daily, Saren, I was like, I didn't start out to write an addiction story. Um, this story obviously has kind of turned into someone who's got that monkey on their back. Uh, and it's not just a straight up, oh, I'm addicted to the serum. It's almost like the psychological addiction of it more than anything else. Um, but yeah, that's obviously uh, unfortunately relatable to a lot of people. But yeah, it's kind of like there's real consequences, there's real prices to pay for what she's going through right now and what she's doing. So, and that's going to continue to get very interesting.
We hurt the ones we're closest to, right?
Mhm. And how?
Uh, but I think that we all know, or at least most of us, we can figure out whatnot. You're actually a kind soul, despite how much you might want to hide that and whatnot. You're a kind soul.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Don't make me go all just this mess on y'all.
Sorry, too late. Secret's out, cat's out the bag. We all know it now. But yeah, no, like when we talked in private and whatnot, you're a very open person, and like
Thank you.
it shows, and it's like, how can you ever be angry at someone like this, right? Like
Oh,
it's just
oh, oh,
weird.
just wait.
Just wait. Nope, sorry. Um, Everything's been revealed. I could tell, and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing to hear. Is there anything else that we should know or prepare ourselves for?
Issue
How many
8.
boxes of tissue should we, buy?
Uh,
Should we take stock?
okay, so issue 8, I kind of consider it a fun little romp. Um, up until the end and stuff. And then issue 9, we get to fall in love with a new character.
Oh,
That'll
okay.
that'll be fine.
Speculators.
That'll be fine.
Speculators jumping in right now. Okay, let's go buy
Oh,
this because yeah.
oh, no, Saren is just, like, putting on her little tinfoil hat now going like, "Enhance, enhance, enhance." And then number 10, is our big finish for this arc. Um, and yes, we're working on more. Uh, yes.
I don't have asthma, but I was reaching for an inhaler somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, no. And then there will be more. Um, but yeah, it's issue 10 is kind of like our big gangbuster finale, and people will be upset again, probably. But there are cookie bouquets in that one.
Cookie bouquets?
Yes, cookie bouquets.
Okay.
How could there be anything wrong in a comic with cookie bouquets?
That's okay. Let's do it. I can't wait. Okay. Okay. I am looking forward to a lot more of Karla Pacheco. I've been saying Pacheco. You never corrected me. You're too kind. Um, so I'm looking forward to more. And yeah, honestly, like whatever you're going to write, I'm going to read
Oh, thank you.
because you're already there. Your name is commonplace for a lot of us, and more coming.
Awesome.
So
Thank you so
thank
much.
no worries. Thank you, and thank you for the conversation and whatnot,
Absolutely.
and for a couple of spoilers, which I didn't ask for. All right.
Or is Carla just lying again? That's the beauty of it.
You did
If
say
if
you're really good
if
at lying to
if
people.
if you establish yourself as an unreliable narrator from the get-go, Marvel can never yell at me for doing spoilers.
This is true. All right. Thanks so much. And,
Thanks so much, Phil. It
no
was
worries.
it was great talking with you.
And you. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Carla Pacheco, Pachito. Class dismissed.